Today we're going to try to repair this little hole, and we're going to use a modified California patch. Okay guys, so this is going to be a modified California patch, and the reason I say modified is one end will not have the paper that hangs over it, and I'll show you what that means in just a minute. Since this is close to the door, we're going to have to pull off the trim. Now I have already broken it loose. You're going to use a razor knife and cut the caulk line all the way around on all sides. That'll keep it from tearing your sheetrock paper, and it'll keep the unit itself in good shape. And you're going to slowly pry out so that you don't snap your trim and have to go buy a new piece of trim. When you get it out, before you put it back, you'll go back and you're going to clip all these nails off, and then you can reinstall it when we are done. Now, when I say modified, this is why it's modified. We are not going to have to use any tape on this edge. That's why we pulled that off. We're going to have tape around the other three sides. All right, guys, so what I want a block that is going to cover this hole and go to the edge, but I need extra paper. A California corner leaves part of the paper. We're going to cut some of the sheetrock away and let the paper stick out, and that's what we are going to use as our tape. And you don't have to put a block behind it that way. So what I'm going to do is, I know that my block is 5.5. We're going to go about 6.5 in our actual block. We're going to cut an inch away on the back side, and then here we're at about 2.5 here. So if we go, I'm going to go ahead and go to let's see how I want to do that. We're going to go ahead and go to 5. So we're going to do 5, and then we will cut this block out to the size that we want. So we'll do 5, and we'll have about an inch overhang on each side. Yeah, that'll probably work pretty well. So let's go cut a block out. Right now we're going to go ahead and do a 6x5 block. So what I've done, I've cut a block much larger than the one that is there, allowing me at least an inch on all sides except for this one. So what we do basically is we're going to take the block, and I'm going to cut back from the back side about an inch on the other three sides. And then we are going to take that sheetrock off, and we are going to leave the paper. So when we put it in, the paper is what's going to hold it. We use our mud and put it into place, and that becomes our patch. We don't have to put anything behind it, even though in this case we do have a 2x4 here. Actually, we have 2 of them. So we can put a screw there to help that hold as well. So it's kind of a, like I said, a modified California patch, and gives it a little more strength. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and cut this back about an inch on 3 of the sides and peel off the sheetrock so that we can use it as a patch. So let's do that. All right, so this is the piece we got to work with. I'm going to try to take a good square piece off this side right here. So we're going to go, go 6.5. And we're going to go down about 5 inches. So we're going to go to about right here. And it doesn't have to be totally exact, guys, because you're just going to use the paper as long as it's big enough to cover the square. So let's take our knife now and cut that out. We're going to score our lines just like that and like that. Now that it's scored, to get all the way through one of them, I'll have to use my little saw to go ahead and saw it over, and the other one will just bend. So let's just saw this bottom. that. And then this one should bend just like so. And we just cut it from the back side. Just like that right there. Now that's our basic patch. So all we're doing now is getting rid of the sheetrock, and we are leaving the paper. Just like that. That is our patch. Let's go try it and see how it works. So now what I do at this point is I just make sure it's going to fit. And I think, yeah, just like that. Looks good. That will cover the hole. So now that I have it pretty much where I want it, all I'm going to do is pull the paper down a little bit, use my pencil, and mark out my spot. And I do that on all three of these sides here. So now I know I can cut that, and this will slide right in, and we're ready to put mud on. And you want to at least cut the black line that you made away. That way your new piece will slide down inside of there really easily. You may still have to do just a little bit of modifying, which doesn't hurt anything. There is that one. And let's see what we got here. And just like that. And there's your two studs we were talking about. Now you notice I left the wrapped piece on that side just to make it a little stronger. So it looks like I need to trim just a hair off to get that where I want it, right there. Yeah, just a very, very little bit. There you go, guys. And now all we do is put mud. All right, everything is sanded nice and smooth, so we're not going to be getting anything in our mud now. Now we're going to use a little hot mud because it's stronger, has more glue additives. I'm going to go ahead and coat some on the outside here, put it into place, put a couple screws, and then we're going to finish the outside. So let's do that. Here's our hot mud. And all I'm going to do is simply put a pretty good amount here because it's going to squish out. Just like that. Want to make sure you do not leave any voids. There we go. Now we're going to take this piece and we're going to work it in. Right there where it's nice and tight. And now I'm going to put a couple of screws on this end. Just like that. And there we go. Now you want to be careful that you don't do it too tight and pull that out on that side. I may back those off just a little. Make sure we get that right where it needs to be. I think I'm going to wait and put the screws in after because it's pushing it. All right. There we go. Keep that knife tilted back so you don't pull off too much. You don't want to push too much at the edges. You'll take everything out that you have tried to put in there. So I'm very gently pushing down. And this doesn't have to be real pretty, guys. We're going to go over this a couple of times to get it where it needs to be. All right. Any of the other holes that we have, we're going to go ahead and fill in with the hot mud because it doesn't shrink as much. All right, guys, this is pretty dry. I'm not going to try to sand on it. We're going to go ahead and put another coat over though so we can gain a little time. Start out here. So, all right, guys, this is actually pretty level. We're going to go ahead and float it out just a little more. We're going to use a big knife on this. Get it out there. Make sure that nothing can show up. All right, so I get it all on there and keep my knife down and take off the excess. Just like that. Now, what I want to do is get this edge and this edge. So I'm going to the very top of the knife, I'm going to tilt it in tight like that. So we take that off. And the very bottom, now I'm doing the same thing. Take that off. And then I finish off with one more tilted way down, just like that. There we go. So there you go, guys. It is complete. It looks fantastic. Hope you got a little something out of this one. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. Hit that little bell notification so you know about all the upcoming videos as I release them. And we'll see you guys on the next one. We're going to use the actual mixer, which is my DeWalt drill with an egg beater. Works great. And use my knife if I need to any fine mixing. I'll put a little water first so it doesn't stick in the bottom so much. And about like that right there, just a little bit. And we're going to mix some in. Put a little bit more water in. And you're going to mix this till it's kind of like a peanut butter. And I just simply will take it and start mixing. And if you're going to be downwind of that dust, be sure you're wearing a mask or respirator. Don't want to be breathing it in. Okay.